I'll just tell you guys right now, and I'm not going to ask Sarah to reveal hers if she doesn't want to, but I weigh 305 at my check-in at the doctor. It was 305.6.
Welcome to Art of the Family podcast. I'm Sarah, and I'm here with my husband, Philip.
Hi.
And so this is our first episode, and today we were thinking that we would just talk to each other and just kind of see how this goes. We're not really used to doing anything like this. I think what we were wanting to do with this podcast is just kind of document our journey on getting ourselves healthy, raising our family. We have 2 daughters, and yeah, we have struggles like every other couple with finances and our health and raising children. And so we were just going to kind of talk to each other about changes that need to be made and
family life.
Yeah, family life, and just share it with the rest of you guys. So, where
do you want to start?
I guess we could start. I guess we'll start with health. Huh?
We'll start with health because so a little background here. Sarah and I have been married for 5 years. We just had our anniversary at the beginning of this month. And back when we had first got together, I would say I was out of shape, but I wouldn't say I was out of shape to the degree that I'm at right now. And Sarah was in pretty decent shape.
Yeah, I was a pescatarian. I ate just vegetables and chicken, no red meats. I ate fish. And I didn't really try to be super health conscious. However, I was really good with portion control. And I made a lot better choices food-wise, and I exercised almost nightly at that time. And this was did you already say it was in 2008?
No, I didn't. It was when we first met. It was 2008.
Yeah, we first met. It was in 2008. And things just kind of have been steadily going downhill from there, getting worse and worse with our health and our food choices and, married life, having kids and stuff. It happens.
You get lazy, I think.
Yeah.
So like I said, we've been married for 5 years, and this is a conversation that's happened about 4 times a year, every year, that we need to lose weight, we need to get in shape. And we had 1 baby, and then we never got in shape, and then we had a second baby, and it's become even harder. So our children are 2 girls that are here. We have a son from a previous marriage, but he lives with his mother. So our 2 daughters that live here are 5 and 2. And if you've ever had to keep up with children of those ages, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, and it's, for me, I was just ready to make a change now because it's kind of embarrassing when your youngest child is 2 years old and you no longer really have an excuse of, I just haven't lost the baby weight yet after 2 years. So, I mean, with me, I guess it was when I got pregnant with my first that my health really started to decline. I was pretty health conscious. Wouldn't you say, Phil? I was pretty health conscious during the first pregnancy.
Absolutely. Sarah went by the book on everything that the books tell you to, like, don't have any caffeine.
Yeah, I had
That's
no
the only
caffeine.
time I've ever seen this woman without a cup of coffee in her hand in the morning.
Yeah.
Switched to decaf, and then I think you just stopped altogether, didn't you?
Yeah, I just stopped because I couldn't stand the taste of it.
Absolutely. Sarah did everything by the book.
Yeah, and I still didn't eat red meats. I ate vegetables, lean chicken, turkey, that kind of stuff. And it wasn't until after I had her, with our oldest, I had to have an emergency C-section. And so it took a little while for the recovery period. And I also suffered postpartum depression after that. And so right off the bat, I wasn't eating because of the depression. And so once I got on antidepressants and I started feeling better, I made sure that I ate, and I no longer paid attention to when I should be eating and how much I was eating, and I just kind of ate whenever I wanted and whatever I wanted. And from there, it just kind of snowballed. I never really got on any kind of diet or exercised at all. It was difficult to exercise after having major surgery, but I just never, I don't know, I was too scared, I guess, that I would hurt myself with trying to work out after having major abdominal surgery. So I just never did. And then
I've never really been big on abdominal exercises.
Yeah.
I don't have the excuse of not having any kind of abdominal surgeries or anything. So for me, it was the fact that I've never really been like a super healthy eater. Ever since I was kind of on my own, it was just like, if something tastes good and I can afford to pay for it, or even sometimes if I couldn't, then I would try to obtain it and eat it. And once, fast forward to the point at which we're talking about, where we got married and we had Hannah, I think I just kind of viewed like your cravings and your eating habits as a license to like, oh, well, you're going to eat a big bowl of, whatever. I'm going to have a big bowl of whatever it is too, So definitely wasn't trying to like hand you, a giant bowl of spaghetti and then sit down with a salad or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then, from there, we just kind of synced up with each other, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it only got worse, our health and our eating habits, after we took on a roommate. And she was an old friend of mine from high school. And so we kind of, I had my first daughter when I would consider myself to be young. I was 23. And I know that that's not like super young, but for me it was young. And I didn't have my party time. I didn't get to do all the things that young, 20-somethings get to do. And so while we lived with our roommates, me and her would go out on the patio and we would drink. And we drank way too much. And, as alcohol is very fattening. And so we would do that all the time, every day almost. And then we just ate junk food. We would eat pizza, we would eat tacos, hamburgers, just everything that you're not supposed to eat. We would eat that every night. Yeah,
every night. Now, we're not talking about dinners. We're talking about like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Coming in to make macaroni and cheese drunk.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It was really
so
bad.
Stupid. So that just, made it all the worse. And then out of nowhere, unexpectedly, I get pregnant with our second. And that was really hard on me. That pregnancy was a lot harder than with our first.
Right, because you went in as an obese patient, right?
Yeah, I was
an at-risk pregnancy.
Yeah, maybe not quite at risk, but I was definitely obese, and I was told that I could not gain more than, I think it was like 25 pounds, 25 or 30 pounds, and so I did good though on the eating part of that. I didn't gain, more than what I was supposed to. But I didn't exercise. I didn't really try and take care of myself during that time. And I suffered from depression during the pregnancy. And so that was hard. And then afterwards, I guess we just got used to eating poor food. I don't know how else to say it.
It's
but
poor food. Yeah,
we couldn't afford, to get. I know it sounds really dumb now, having learned how to eat properly and having, being where we're at right now, it sounds really dumb to say, and I feel really dumb for saying it, but I just thought we couldn't afford vegetables and fruit and stuff like that. I mean, we ate mostly like macaroni and cheese and
hamburger helpers,
and we'd get like burgers off the dollar menu at fast food places and stuff, and we'd just whatever we wanted to eat as long as it was cheap, just the cheapest options, which the cheapest is not the best usually.
There's a difference between cheap as in I didn't buy that much and cheap versus look at all these burgers I got for super cheap.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and portions too. Like what I'm starting to realize now at this point is that we had to pick the cheaper options because of how much we were eating.
Oh, for sure.
Back then. And like when you eat healthy food and you're choosing healthier options, then you don't need to buy as much because the portions that you're eating of it's not going to be like massive, huge, load your plate up portions. It's going to be, the correct amount for what you need to be consuming. And so that is going to cut costs. Like that is going to make it kind of almost equal out to the same, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
It's kind of, it might be a little bit more, especially if you go organic or whatever, but we're not quite. Some of the things we buy are organic just because it's not that much of a price difference.
Very rarely, sometimes you'll see like an organic product that's technically less money, but it's because there's more of the product in the non-organic.
Yeah.
Like you get, but as far as like if I've got $4 and this costs $3.50. And then the one that's not organic costs $5, but it's a better deal, but I don't have the $5 to spend on it.
Right. Yeah, so basically what the turning point was the other day, I guess 3 days ago?
Tuesday. No, Wednesday. Yeah, I guess it was roughly 3 days ago.
Whenever it was. A couple days ago. Me and Philip went to the doctor. We made an appointment for him.
Well, I had an ear infection.
Yeah, because he had an ear infection. His ear was hurting. He's been having like sinus problems, and we thought it was allergies for a while. I
was taking Mucinex, and it just wasn't clearing out. I couldn't do the whole thing of blowing my nose and getting my ear to clear or anything. It was really starting to get on my nerves. It didn't hurt or anything, but it wasn't pleasant. I've had that once before, I think.
Yeah.
We've been having sinus issues all year this year.
Yeah, this has been a really bad year for allergies and sickness.
When we say year,
oh my gosh, our family has been to the doctor so many times this year.
Well, when we say this year, what we mean is not January to January.
Right.
We moved in here in May last year, so we're coming up on our move-out date, actually. And so when we say a year, we mean from this point now to last year to now.
Yeah.
Sorry, stumbling over my words there, but yeah. So, I've been sick a number of times from work, and I wasn't sure if it was something maybe that I was getting from work or the people I work with. And then it could be this house. It could just be the area and the allergies.
Yeah.
I don't really know, but I had to go to the doctor.
Yeah, and while we were at the doctor, it got brought up that Philip has not been taking his blood pressure medication like he's supposed to. He has high blood pressure. Which
is probably a result of my eating habits.
Yes. And so they, the nurse and the doctor were not terribly thrilled to hear that. And then we spoke with the doctor about Philip's sleeping issues. And, we won't go too much into that right now. That'll be for a future discussion. But anyway, what it all kind of came down to was that he needs to change his diet. He needs to lose weight.
And as a result, the doctor said the easiest way would be if Sarah also changed her diet.
Yes, which, I need to lose weight too anyway. Like, I've got a slew of chronic health issues, mental health issues. I have so many health problems. It's ridiculous. Not to mention the fact that I am way overweight. So yes, we both need to get healthier. We need to change our diet so we can feel better. That was the main goal this time. We've tried to lose weight in the past, and it never works because we're always worried about, we need to lose weight, we need to look good, we want to be hot, we want to be in shape. And that just never works for whatever reason. And this time it's more about, I can't really speak for you, but it's more about, I am tired of feeling tired. I'm tired of hurting all the time. I'm tired of feeling heavy.
Well, for me, it's a couple of things. It's coming in, seeing the kids, they want to do stuff, and I just don't feel like messing with it. So there's that, the being tired stuff. Mm-hmm. Also, I'll just tell you guys right now, and I'm not going to ask Sarah to reveal hers if she doesn't want to, but I weigh 305 at my check-in at the doctor. It was 305.6 pounds that I weigh right now. And that's the thing is, like, back in January, I had bronchitis, but I had this hacking cough and this stomach bug at the same time. And it was making me throw up, and I couldn't eat for about 4 days. The medicine that they gave me, I was finally able to get, like the brat diet, like bread, rice?
The brat diet is
bananas. Sorry, bananas, rice, apples, and toast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to keep some things down finally, but I was down to 280?
Yeah,
289.
You had lost like 20-something pounds.
Yeah, and at first I was thinking like, oh, once I start getting better, this is it. I'm on my way now. Once you get it below that first number, that 3, you start to get excited, and then just for whatever reason, I'm back at 305 now. I say for whatever reason, I know it's just because we started eating crap again, but that's it for me too. Is that I'll be 35 at the end of this month on the 30th, so about 10 days from now, and I always kind of like looked off in the future, like, well, I'll do that by the time I'm 35.
Yeah.
Well, it's here now. It's come to collect its dues. So it has to happen before I'm like an old man, I know like 30s, 40s is not old. I used to think it was when I was a kid, but now for me, it's just, I've got to do it before I can't do it. So.
Right. Yeah. And no, I'm not going to say how much I weigh at this time, but I will say that I need to lose about 50 or 60 pounds. So let's just leave it at that.
That works.
So
we have our goals.
Yes. And so what was recommended by the doctor was that we change our diet first before we do any other kind of health stuff, before we start worrying about exercising or changing any other habits or whatever, just food. And his recommendation was to cut carbs out and cut sugars out. And then he mentioned the Mediterranean diet. And I was curious about that. So we went home and I looked it up. And it turns out it's not too much different than what I had been doing before, being a pescatarian. It's just, fish, chicken, and a bunch of vegetables. Shrimp. Yes, shrimp. We will talk more about that probably in the next episode. We'll go through. We just started this diet, and I went to the store. I got a whole bunch of fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, all kinds of stuff. And we've been eating in a Mediterranean style. I don't really like calling it a diet, and I'll get into more about that next time as well. But we've been trying to eat more Mediterranean-like the past 2.5 days now. And I can say I feel so much better. Just from 2 days of eating like that and cutting out the sodas and all the sugar and the fatty foods and the carbs, I feel so much better. I have so much more energy. I'm not hurting as bad. How do you feel?
I was going to say about the same, actually. The hardest part for me, I think, has been because one of the reasons that I've had such a weight problem is I've always been a soda drinker. and I would go through a 12-pack. I could go through a 12-pack by myself in 2 days, or one 24-hour period, I guess. Like, I'd go buy some in the evening, start drinking them, and by the time it's like the next evening, I could have them all drink. Take one to work, put one in my bag.
Yeah, that's really not good.
It's really, really bad. So what I did, because I knew it would be super hard and I didn't want to derail this whole thing, was I had picked up Coke Zero Sugar. They, I guess, rebranded from just Coke Zero to now it's Coke Zero Sugar.
It tastes much better now, by the way. Yeah,
it actually does. This is the first episode and nobody knows us, so we're not being paid to say that. But
right.
I'm aware of it. There's a soda, Sarah, it's called Diet Right, I believe. And it's made with a Splenda, and that's what I was looking for at the store.
Is it Splenda?
Yeah,
or is it stevia?
No, I think it's made with Splenda.
Well, Splenda's not the greatest. It's artificial sweetener.
Oh, no, wait. There's another one. There is another one, though. No, I'm getting confused now. I think that one is Splenda, but there's a different one.
There's another one that made with stevia,
I believe. And I think there's a Coca-Cola Life that they might make with stevia and sugar. I don't remember.
Okay.
So I just want to look around at options, but honestly, the Coke Zeros, or the Coke Zero Sugar, is they're harder. It's harder to crack open can after can.
Yeah.
Because of that artificial sweetener. It's fine to get you through the drink. I'm having a little soda with my drink, but it's really hard to just sit there and drink like 3 in a row.
I can't even finish one can of it in a sitting. It takes me all day to finish one can of a Coke Zero, whereas before with a regular Coke, it was like I didn't have quite as many as Philip, but I would definitely have at least 3 a day, which is way more than what I used to drink. I used to never drink soda.
Yeah, so that was my big challenge as far as doing this, was the sodas, and I think before, what I would do is we're going to quit drinking soda, so I would start buying those big jugs of sweet tea.
Yeah, but that's
which is packed full of sugar. It just doesn't have the carbonation. So I told her this time we're not going to be able to do that. And I've tried to drink LaCroix before, and I might be able to get myself back around once we've been on this for a few weeks and see if I like it again. But
I don't like it.
It's pretty bitter. It's not bitter, but it just has a weird taste. I can't get used to it. So yeah, but as far as how I'm feeling, I do feel more alert. I feel like
I notice you haven't been falling asleep as much.
Yeah, I used to come in and just fall asleep on the couch watching TV or something. Just that dad pose, just slumped over on the couch. Yeah. I would lay down on the couch after we had the kids in bed, and we'd start trying to watch something.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
And then she'd start hollering, "Phil, wake up, wake up. I'm going to throw this remote at you.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this water at you."
Yeah. And
so I would finally sit up on the couch. I'd finally sit up. And then we start watching the thing again. And then she looks over and I'm just slumped over, sitting up sleeping.
It's ridiculous. I hate that so much.
I know you do.
This is why I really, really want you to stick with this and do this with me.
Well, I hope it, that definitely is what has the effect.
Yeah.
Because it's, I haven't really been doing that, and it's I don't know.
Fast food, we haven't been eating fast food either, which is a huge deal for us, because another reason why we've been eating very crappy, I don't know if I mentioned already, is we basically are living at the poverty line, maybe a little bit below the poverty line.
Yeah.
And so it's been pretty bad that we have been eating as much fast food as we have. With what little money we have, we've been spending it on fast food.
We did, yeah. We took the girls out when I went to the doctor. After the doctor's office, we went and picked up the older one from school, and I told her let's have one last, because right after the doctor's office, we're already talking about changing our diet and what we're going to do. Yeah, that
was the last straw, basically.
And I said, let's just take the girls out. We don't ever really go out as a family, something else that we'll be talking about soon.
Yeah.
But, I said, let's do a family outing that we don't ever do. Let's just take the girls and go get some food somewhere. And we ended up going to Whataburger. And that was the last junk, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say junk because I love Whataburger. It is delicious, but it's just, you can't eat that 3 times a week and expect to be healthy.
Exactly, which is what we were doing. Not necessarily
Whataburger, because that's really expensive.
But we were definitely eating fast food more than most families. And so, yeah, I'm just really proud of us so far. I think after 2.5 days of doing it, we've really done great, I think, for us. I mean,
Yeah, because
other people may not think it's that big of a deal, but I think it is.
I think it is too, and it's a big step for us. It's baby steps.
Yes.
Any other time that we've tried to I think we tried meal prepping at one point as this is going to be our diet plan, and we didn't really change the food so much. It was just let's prepare a week's worth of chicken.
Yeah, and what was horrendous about that? Well, you know what? I remember actually. I was going to say that we just didn't eat it because I remember it going bad in the fridge. That's horrible. Waste of food. But
This was like 2 years ago, by the way.
I remember what happened after day 1 of the meal prepping, eating the chicken breast and the vegetables and the stuff I had prepared in there. I don't think it was because of the food. I think I had just gotten sick, but I had horrible, I was throwing up. I was vomiting for... Oh gosh,
I remember
whole
that
day.
now.
I mean, it was 10 hours or something like that, just nonstop vomiting. And we went to the emergency room. I was dehydrated. It was awful.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I guess I couldn't eat, they had told me not to eat anything really for a while. And so because of that, the food in our fridge just ended up going bad. All that meal prepping that I had done. And then after that, I didn't feel motivated to try it again or anything. It was just whatever. Well,
it's just like every other thing that we tried or did, basically.
If it didn't work, we didn't do it again, basically. It was just, that didn't work.
Well, and for me, a lot of the times it would be that didn't work in 3 days. Well, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
We've gone through our phases watching Netflix documentaries about miracle juice, and if you just drink this juice for every meal, then you'll be cured of everything. And
we've tried a lot of the different, I guess you would call them fad, health diet type things or whatever.
Well, the thing is, though, we tried it, but we tried it for 3 days. We didn't. I gave up on it, because I was just I can taste it. It tastes like lawn grass.
And I couldn't do it. I liked the juicing. I did. I actually liked that green juice, but I couldn't do the fasting because you're supposed to fast on it. You're supposed to just drink the juice for your 3 meals of the day and not eat anything. And I couldn't get through one day. I had it for breakfast. I had it for lunch. And then by the time dinner rolled around, I think I was crying. I was just crying and I can't do this. I can't do this. I have to eat. And part of it was that I was starting to have flashbacks of back when I had an eating disorder and when I was in high school. And I was afraid that oh my gosh, I'm going to get depressed again. I'm going to, start hating myself and have an eating disorder and stuff. And so Philip was well, let's just get a burger. And I was no, I felt like a failure. I felt so bad about myself. And he was no, let's just don't worry about it. Let's get a burger. We can try it again another time, whatever. And then of course, after we had the burger, we talked about it and we were okay, juice fasting, not for us. It does not work for us.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing with some of those things, I haven't tried it out long enough or hard enough to tell anyone if it actually works or not.
Right.
It just doesn't work for us because we don't have the fortitude or whatever to stick with it.
We don't. We're not in, or I at least. I can't speak for you, Phil, but I at least am not in the mental state to do any kind of not eating, to do any kind of fasting, to deprive myself of stuff like that. I mean, I can deprive myself of red meat, fine, or sugar and stuff like that. But I just, to not eat anything, that's too much for me at this point.
Yeah. I did a little bit of fasting before. whenever we had Hannah, and we weren't living together at the time. And I was living with
I remember
some friends.
that, yeah.
And I'd done that, what is it called? The Daniel fast?
The Daniel fast, yeah.
So there's a fast that's based on
the book of Daniel, right?
It's Daniel in the Bible, and it's based on, like, I don't even remember anymore the details. It was like what he ate.
Yeah, all I remember from it, kind of like, I vaguely remember you eating brown rice.
Yeah. brown rice, I remember. Flatbread type stuff. I made my own salad dressing.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
Yeah. That was pretty decent, but it was just, I don't know, I'm kind of really tired of gimmicky stuff. Yeah. Like, oh, here's the new...
And no offense if, anyone of y'all likes that type of stuff, or y'all are on any of those diets or anything. That's fine. That's great. That's awesome if it works for you. It just doesn't work for us. We've tried.
Absolutely.
If you want
to do a juice fast, or you want to do Weight Watchers, or you want to do any kind of thing like that, and if it works for you and you're able to get yourself healthy, then more power to you. Absolutely.
Yeah, you find what works for you and what makes you feel at your best. As long as you are feeling good and you have the energy and you can get yourself up in the morning and you feel awesome and great, then do it. I mean, we're not doctors. We're not going to advise anyone else. We're just sharing our journey with this.
I haven't weighed myself yet.
Crap. I haven't weighed myself either since we started this, but it's only been like 2 days, so I don't think we should weigh ourselves until next time, and then we can talk about it.
I'm really curious, though, because I already had a weigh-in this week. I already knew I was at 305. Yeah. But you might be right. I might just wait, because we'll just say that was the starting point, because like I said, I weighed in at 305, we had Whataburger, and then we started this. Right? Yeah. So that was Wednesday then? Yeah, because we had the tuna salad.
Yeah, okay. We'll go into the Mediterranean. We'll go into the details of the Mediterranean diet and what we eat and what we have eaten, this coming week. We'll do another podcast next weekend. I guess Saturday night, and then we'll upload it whenever we end up uploading this. But we'll do that, and in that one we'll go into everything that we ate for that week, and we'll talk more about the Mediterranean diet and
the specifics of what we're eating.
Yes, the specifics, and why I don't like to refer to it as a diet, even though I don't know what else to call it other than, I guess, the Mediterranean eating habits or lifestyle or whatever. It's kind of my new obsession at this point, so I will probably be doing more research into it, and I will talk more about that next time. And we can also maybe go into more of my health issues, I guess, other things that I'm dealing with, my chronic health issues that I'm dealing with right now. Yeah.
And some that I probably have. Yes. Mine are much less, but they're still there, so.
Yes, absolutely. And sometime in the future, we'll be going into, it won't all just be about health or whatever. It's a family podcast. It's about our family. So we'll be going into, at some point in the future, we will be discussing our businesses. Both Philip and I are running our own very tiny, very small, very fresh new businesses. So we will go into that in the future, and we'll talk more about our children and behavior issues and developmental issues and stuff like that, where our kids are at, about their education.
Well, maybe some art stuff too.
Some art stuff. Oh, absolutely. We both are artists, and we've both been artists since, birth. Basically, yeah. Basically. So yeah, we'll discuss our art and where we met, how we met and stuff.
Ooh, that's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, that'll be interesting. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say at this point.
Well, I think we're at about 34 minutes, and hopefully I don't have to cut more than about 4 minutes of coughing and sneezing out.
I think this is a good length for a first episode of a podcast.
Yeah. For sure.
So it's just a little
testing the waters.
introduction. Yeah, it's a little introduction into our lives. Hello, I'm Sarah.
I'm Philip.
And thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.